From Los Angeles to a worldwide audience, this is Boaz Power TV, where we take your life to the next level. Now, internationally known speaker and author, here's Boaz.
Hi, welcome to the Power Show. You are part of the Power Nation, and I'm so delighted that you're here. Here we help you with ideas to improve your health, your relationships, your finances, and your career. And one of the things I teach people in seminars all over the world, when people ask you, how's life, how's business? One word with enthusiasm, unbelievable. Nobody will know what you're up to, but they'll think you're doing great. So show enthusiasm, especially when you don't feel like it. We all have days when we don't feel like it. I have days when I don't feel like it. But you know what? I fake it till I make it. I just fake it till I make it. I pretend I have a good spirit, and you know what happens? I end up having a good spirit. Because if we buy into something that isn't in that direction, then we might as well send invitations to a pity party. I've done it. Nobody comes. Okay? So, unbelievable when people ask you, how's life, how's business, and do it with enthusiasm. This is episode number 57 on Boaz Power TV, and I call this one, Sometimes All You Have to Do is Ask for Help. Sometimes all you have to do is ask for help. How come sometimes or often, unfortunately, and I've been as guilty as anybody, we just want to do it on our own. We think, I can take care of this. I can do this. Look, what if there are people who could really help us? They'd be delighted to, but we don't ask. So why don't we ask for help? Amazing things will happen. And then others might ask your help, and you'd be delighted to help them. This was brought home, this particular concept to me, sometime back at a synagogue on a Friday night. I heard the rabbi relate this story, and I thought it had such significance. It was a long time ago in Europe. There would be these religious Jewish schools, and there would be a Rebbe, usually an older rabbi, that was teaching these young teenage boys about the Bible, and with the idea that they would eventually become rabbis. So on a Friday afternoon, he said to his students, we must go take a walk. So they followed him, and they're walking for a long time. They go to a nearby village, and they come to the outskirts of the village. There's an old shack there, and the Rebbe knocks on the door. A man answers, looks rather poor, and he is surprised. He recognizes the Rebbe, and he says, oh my gosh, Rebbe, to what do I owe this honor that you would come to my home? The Rebbe says, we have come for Sabbath dinner. The man says, Sabbath dinner? We are very poor. We have nothing. My wife, the baby, we have no food, and you expect Sabbath dinner. The Rebbe, as he walks in, says, no problem, whatever you've got will be fine. So the Rebbe and his followers sit around the table, and there's the wife with the baby, and the man says, all I've got is this jug of milk and this loaf of bread. The Rebbe says, oh, that'll be fine. Put it on the table. So he says to his followers, go in and have some of the bread and drink some of the milk. But his followers, looking around, they're looking in the cupboards, there's nothing here. These people are very poor. They have no food. We're not going to eat their bread and drink their milk. Well, the Rebbe says, if you're not going to, I will. So he eats the loaf of bread and he drinks the milk. Amazing. And then he says to the man, and we've decided to stay for the night. Stay for the night? We don't have any extra beds. We have nothing here. The Rebbe says, no problem. Just give us some blankets. We'll just lay down and sleep on the floor. So they lay down on the floor, and the milk is gone. There's no bread. The baby cries itself to sleep. The wife is very upset. And in the morning, the Rebbe says to the man, we're going to go outside for some prayers, and we'd like for you to prepare for us a festive Sabbath lunch. Festive lunch? We have nothing. You ate the bread, you drank the milk, we have nothing. How do you expect me to prepare a festive lunch for all of you? Rabbi says, oh, you'll probably think of something. The man is dumbfounded. I mean, this is the Rabbi. This is the Rabbi. What do you do? So the man goes into the village. He makes a deal to sell his shack. He's going to sell his little home the next day. The man, somebody is going to get it, and whoever bought it gives him enough money so he's able to buy all the groceries and everything for the festive Sabbath lunch. And so the wife prepares the lunch, and the Rebbe and his followers sit down. They eat everything. They don't even offer anything to the man and his wife. They eat all the food. And then the Rebbe says to the man, that was very nice. I want to thank you, and now we will be off. And the Rebbe and his followers leave. The man is dumbfounded. What was that all about? The wife is very angry. The baby's crying. This is absurd. They have to move out of their shack tomorrow. Oh my gosh. The man in desperation doesn't know what to do. He's never been a very religious man, but he goes outside. There's a big oak tree out in front of his shack, drops down to his knees, and looks up at the sky and says, God, I need your help. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And suddenly he feels a hand on his shoulder. And it's a little old lady that to most people in the village was very scary. She lived up in the hills, up in a cave somewhere. And whenever she came to town, she looked unkempt. And many people sort of shied away from her because she frightened them. And he had always been nice to her because he figured he ought to be nice to people. And so she says, follow me. He said, what? Follow me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So he follows her. She goes up into the hills and they climb for a long while. They come to a cave and she says, come on in here. And it's obviously where she stays, in this cave. She says, you see that rock over there in the corner? Lift up the rock. Move the dirt over. You see that box underneath there, that chest? Pull it out of the ground. So he pulls it out of the ground and opens, and she said, open it up. Open up the chest. So he opens up the chest and oh my gosh, it's full of diamonds and jewelry and oh my gosh, it's dazzling, just incredible. The whole thing is full of all of this jewelry and diamonds. And then she says, now close the box, put it back in the ground, cover it up with dirt, put the rock back over it, and go on back to your home. He says, what? Why? He said, never mind. I just want you to know, though, before you leave, I've left word in the village that if anything ever happens to me, you will inherit all of that. He says, to what do I owe this? She said, never mind. You've always been kind to me, and I want you to know, if anything happens to me, that is yours. So he goes back to his shack. That day is awful. The night is awful. The wife is angry. The baby's crying. There's no food. The next day they have to move out. It's horrible. It's just horrible. In the morning, there is news in the village. The little old lady in the hills has died. He inherits all the gold and diamonds and jewelry. The man becomes the richest man in the village, gets a beautiful big house on the hill, beautiful clothes, all the food, servants, carriages, everything he needs. So some months later, the man says to his wife, we must go find out what that whole incident was about. We must go see the Rebbe. I must talk to him. So the servants prepare the carriage, a nice festive lunch, and the driver, and they dress up beautifully, and they go to the other village, and they find the Rebbe's house. So the man knocks on the door, and the Rebbe answers the door. And he says, Rebbe, I don't know if you remember me. And the Rebbe says, oh, yes, I do remember you, but I must say you are looking much better now than you did then. He says, well, Rebbe, can I come in? I have to tell you what happened that day. And the Rebbe says, of course. They sit down, and he explains to him everything that happened after he left. And the man says, Rebbe, I have to find out, what was that all about? And the Rebbe's answer was so simple. He said, sometimes God just wants us to drop to our knees and ask for help. Wow! Sometimes God just wants us to drop to our knees and ask for help. So the affirmation for this episode of Boaz Power TV, please write it down. I ask for help. I ask for help. So simple, but so profound. I bet you there are people out there who'd love to help you to move to the next level in life. So please read that affirmation morning and evening. I ask for help. And by the way, many of these messages are available on YouTube. This is where you may have found me. This is my channel on YouTube, Boaz Power TV. So you can go to youtube.com/user/Boaz Power TV. That's youtube.com/user/Boaz Power TV. And there you'll find many of my episodes on all kinds of wonderful ideas that can help you improve your life. And by the way, I want you to get your power back. Many people have lost power because they're out of control with finances. So please, let's live a little below our means. Let's lower our expenses and let's pay off some debts. It's so simple. Lower your expenses, pay off some debts, pay in cash. If you can't afford something, wait, and then save some money. Got to tell you, having cash in the bank gives you lots of confidence, and being out of debt gives you lots of power. It's been such a pleasure to have you with me today. If you like these messages, and many people around the world do, please forward this to 5 people you know. Ask them to go to my website, boazpower.com, and subscribe to this free weekly broadcast of Boaz Power TV. And maybe we can get them to also ask for help when they need it. And you and I would be delighted to help, wouldn't we? You are special. You are unique. I believe in you. You are special. You are destined for greatness. Have a powerful day.
This has been Boaz Power TV. To comment, see other episodes, or to subscribe to this free broadcast, go to our blog at boazpower.com. That's boazpower.com. We're here to take your life to the next level.